They come from every corner of the country with everything to look forward to. School, career, love, family. They're at the height of their youth and promise as they choose to answer the timeless call.
When I started thinking about what was I going to do with my life, I knew part of it was going to be part of the military.
I wanted to participate in all the training. I wanted to know what it meant to be a Marine.
I enlisted because I felt that's something that that would make me a better citizen.
Valentine's Day, they told us our unit was being alerted and that we were deploying to Iraq. So I called my girlfriend. She was at work. She broke down crying.
They kind of built it up like it was going to be a really simple peacekeeping mission. Win the hearts and minds of the Iraqi people, you know. We're going to build schools, we're going to help out in the hospitals. And when we got there, it turned into a fight.
Anytime you went outside the wire, there was always a chance that something could happen.
We're getting hit by ambushes, car bombs, suicide bombers. We lost 34 Marines over there. Guys that you're working with every day. You're reading their letters from home, sharing their mom's cookies and stuff. And it hurts to see those guys go.
8 soldiers have been killed by IEDs. There's a standardized ceremony. You have the rifle stood up front with the boots and the helmet. There's just a connection because, especially in the field, you're wearing the exact same gear.
Some of those guys do it for 18 months, come home for less than a year, and go do it again. And then come home, and then they go do it again.
Today's soldiers walk in the footsteps of all those who went before. From Iraq and Afghanistan, the line stretches back over history's horizon to the jungles of Vietnam, the mountains of Korea, the beaches of Normandy and Iwo Jima.
I had 38 men that I had to account for. We became the same as brothers, you know, or even closer than brothers.
When I tell people I'm an Iraq vet, they ask, like, were you afraid? I'm like, I remember there were 2 times that I was afraid. But I kept a diary, and I go back through the diary, and like every entry is like, today I was afraid. I hate being afraid. I can't wait to go home and stop being afraid.
My dad told me once when I was at West Point, he said, there's nothing wrong for a man to fear, but there's something wrong with a man allowing fear to control his actions.
Today's troops face any fear with the kind of strength that only a truly diverse military can marshal. One that embraces heroes from every quarter.
It was a relief when I wore a uniform that guess what? I was a soldier of the United States Army, and it didn't matter what color I was.
When I was in the Air Force, when not a lot of women flew airplanes, people would say, oh, what do you do here? And I would say, I fly airplanes. And they would go, you fly them? And I would say, yes. And they would say, but you actually fly them?
As an infantry officer, I was responsible for the lives of American soldiers. I wasn't given millions of dollars worth of equipment. I was given Americans. And it was my responsibility to make sure they all got home.
After traveling so far and enduring so much, what is it like to feel a mother's hug, a husband's kiss, a child's cheek again?
I think back in the old days, you would travel on a ship and you would have some time to decompress on your way, transitioning out of a combat zone back into civilian life. Here, you're one day you're in Iraq, the next day you're in Kuwait, and the next day you're in California.
I remember going into a really big bookstore, and everything looked so colorful, all these books. And everybody there shopping for the books looked so calm. And I remember thinking, you guys have no idea what is going on the other side of the planet right now.
It's good to be home, but it's hard, you know. It's hard to transition. Every loud noise for a second is an explosion. It's hard to talk to people about it because you're used to being so damn tough, and all of a sudden, you got all this stuff on your mind, you want to let it out, but you just can't.
I came back from Vietnam as a disabled vet.
families have to take care of us in wheelchairs. They have to help us get from the wheelchair to the bed. All the things that the general public don't see, our families have to help us, our wives, our mothers, and our fathers.
Got friends that lost their eyes, lost hands, lost legs. The fight doesn't stop over there. They're here and they're fighting to get healthy.
If we determine that whatever's happening in Iraq is so important that we need to send our troops there to fight and die on our behalf, then we need to make sure that when they come back, we do everything within our power to take care of them.
Their families have a heck of a lot at risk as well. When I see the blue stars or the gold stars, that signifies a mother or father who has a child in the war. Gold stars signify the gold stars signify a loss, so a death of a child.
We ask these men and women to turn themselves from civilians into soldiers. Then we ask them to go from warriors overnight to being colleagues, friends, and parents again. Two monumental challenges. And yet, generation after generation, they do it. They lay down their lives for the land and the dream that is America. A dream that is lifted high on their shoulders, and one that lifts all of us. That no matter how different we appear from one another, we are there for one another. One nation, one people living in freedom. Freedom that is won and protected by these ordinary, extraordinary Americans.